Welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm recapping the quarterfinals of the 2023-24 CONCACAF Nations League, and I will be making early predictions for the play-in, Repechaje, and the CNL Final Four. Reacciones de la Liga de Nations de la CONCACAF Cuartos de Final y predicción de la Repechaje de la Finales de la Liga de Nations de CONCACAF. Here we go. Starting off quarterfinal 3, United States 4-2 over Trinidad and Tobago. United States 4, Trinidad and Tobago 2. Estados Unidos 4-2, Trinidad y Tobago. I was right about this one. I had the U.S. winning 4-2 for the United States. Wasn't the best match. The second leg wasn't the best match for the U.S. Hell, the first leg wasn't. They don't score those 3 goals late in that first leg, they could have lost this tie. They scored those 3 goals, though, and they got an extra one in Trinidad, but they still lost the second leg to Trinidad and Tobago. They lost the second leg, but in the end, U.S. still goes through. It wasn't the best tie. They were very up against it for most of the tie. I think they brute forced it pretty much. And Trinidad gave a good fight. Better fight than I expected, but I still had the U.S. going through. I was right about that. 1-0 on my quarterfinal predictions. Quarterfinal 1, Panama 6, Costa Rica 1. Panama 6-1, Costa Rica. Panama won. They kicked Costa Rica's ass. A little bit more than I expected. Panama was the only one of the big four right now, in my opinion, to actually do just fine. They had no problems. They had no problems whatsoever, Panama did. 6 goals, 1 against. They had an easy run to win this tie. Panama had no problems whatsoever. None. 3-0 and 3-1. Panama just waltzes through, but I thought they would win. I didn't think it would be this easy, but they just waltzed through. I was right about this, though. 2-0 on my predictions. Quarterfinal 2, Canada 4, Jamaica 4. Jamaica wins on away goals thanks to that last penalty. Canada 4, Jamaica 4. Jamaica ganar a la goals de visitar. I was wrong about this one. Canada wins down in Jamaica 2-1. Jamaica wins in Toronto to give Canada their first loss at home for years. And they win 3-2. They get a penalty. They hold on. They don't end up drawing the match on the night. They move on to Copa America. Jamaica played well for most of the tie, I have to admit. Calming down a little bit, I have to admit, and be nice about it. Jamaica played a really good tie. They did play a really good tie. They played a tough game. They played a tough tie against the Canadians. And I thought, yeah, Jamaica, they did fight. They did play well. Canada had some really good fight. But Canada came out flat in the second half. Allowed 2 goals. And then the penalty, after they scored by Kone, the penalty put them in a position that they had to get one. They couldn't get it. Was it a BS penalty? I still think it was BS. I still think Eustachio was in natural position. I'm not going to change my thought on that. I could see why they called it a penalty and why they didn't overturn it, besides it being CONCACAF refs. You know, there is if you're in the box, you probably should play like you're handcuffed, but he didn't. Even though it was I thought it was a natural position. I think he actually tried to pull back in a little bit more to make sure that he was in natural position. He was trying to make his body smaller, not bigger. And I don't even think he was out of position at first. I think he was just trying to make sure that nothing happened in the moment and get called as an out of position situation. He still did. But I think he was moving in because he knew that, just to be safe, bit him in the ass. Well, if bit him in the ass, he would have been called for handball the other way anyway. Maybe it would have went past his arm. I don't think there was enough room for it to go past his arm. Grazes him. It's a penalty. Bobby Reed scores it. Canada can't get another. So be it. Canada goes to the play-in. Jamaica goes to Copa America. I was wrong about this one. I'm 2-1 on my predictions. 2 out of 3. Then finally, quarterfinal 4, Mexico 2, Honduras 2. 4-2 on penalties for Mexico. They win. I think it was a little bit harsh on Honduras. I think some of the calls, or I should say, the way the game was played, the way the game was reffed, I think it went a little bit too long, and I think the second retake on Huerta was bull junk. I think it was actual save by Menjivar for that first retake that led to his second retake. I thought that was an actual save. I don't know if it would have helped Honduras win on penalties, but, you know, excuse me for that. But, you know, exactly where Menjivar was, I thought, I didn't think he was off the line the retake that led to the second retake. I thought he was off the line the first time. But the first ends up being the first retake, but the first retake, he was on the line. So there should have never been a second retake. But fair. Mexico, they lost in Honduras. Honduras had an amazing match down in Honduras. I thought, man, they could hold on, and they almost did. But Luis Chavez with a free kick. The goal by Edson Alvarez late on. I think that was way too... They should have blown the whistle before that happened. But it happened. Honduras holds on to penalties, and they lose on penalties. Honduras, I wouldn't say bottled it. I think Mexico did just enough to get through, and they were helped a little bit, Which, if you're in that position, that's probably going to happen. Honduras and Canada both got jobbed last night, to be completely honest. But I still had Mexico going through a little bit easier than that. But they still went through. I was right. That means I'm 3-1 on my quarterfinal predictions. 3 out of 4 correct. Not too bad, but the one I wanted to be right the most was wrong, so that sucks. So play-in ties. We have Trinidad and Tobago. This is on March 23rd of next year. Trinidad and Tobago versus Canada. Trinidad and Tobago versus Canada. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad y Tobago versus contra Canada. I think Canada should win. If they don't deserve to go to Copa America. If they don't beat Trinidad, they don't deserve to go to Copa America. They just don't. So if they do, they should win. They are the favorite here in this play-in at Frisco. They should win. If they don't, I'm not even going to be mad because they don't deserve to go to Copa America if they can't beat Trinidad. Unless they get bullshitted again, but I don't think that's the way Trinidad rolls. They just pull Appalachian State like upsets. I wouldn't even be mad if Canada loses because they don't deserve to go if they lose. So I think Canada beats Trinidad. I think if the USA beats Trinidad and they play their crappiest game, I think Canada can play their crappiest game and still beat Trinidad in a one-legged tie. And they played a crappy 180 minutes, USA. So I think Canada should be fine. Then Costa Rica versus Honduras. Costa Rica contra Honduras. I have Honduras winning because Costa Rica needs to rebuild, and rebuilding on the fly into a play-in, a lucky loser game, or they may just keep their guys, which would also be a bad decision. I think they're screwed either way. And Honduras is playing very well. I think Honduras wins the Repechaje, the second Repechaje tie to join the Final Four in Copa America. So we still should have the best summer ever. It's a little bit questionable because Canada, but Italy's already in the Euros. Canada, they should win, so we still should have the best summer ever, but we won't know till March. So there you go. Now, the CONCACAF Nations League semifinals, March 21st of next year. We have Panama versus Mexico. Panama contra Mexico. I have Mexico winning. I think Panama's played very well, but Mexico, they both played A versus A pretty much at the Gold Cup in the final. Mexico got a win there. I think Mexico could beat Panama again at Jerry World. I don't see why Mexico wouldn't. Yeah, they've been questionable, but if they play like they did against Panama back at the Gold Cup or play like they did against Germany or anything like that, Mexico should win. Mexico should win the match. They should go to the final. United States versus Jamaica. Estados Unidos contra Jamaica. I have Jamaica winning. I feel like Jaime Hallgrimsson will out-tactic Greg Berhalter again. They won't have Damari Gray. This is true. But Shamar playing well. Mikel Antonio, he should be back by March. You have Leon Bailey, who's played better the last couple of months. It's A team versus A team. But the last time they played, it was BJ Callahan versus Heimir Hallgrimsson. Even though Greg Berhalter had input to BJ Callahan. But this is Greg Berhalter. No Serginho Dest. Joe Scally playing like the final of last Nations League. To me, I got Jamaica beating the USA. I have a feeling that Jamaica's going to win this whole thing. I really do. Just a hunch. So, United States will not be able to defend their Nations League title for the second time and go for 3 straight. They will not, because they'll be in the third place game against Panama. Panama versus the United States. Panama contra Estados Unidos. I still think the USA will beat Panama. I still think they should win a third place game of that magnitude. Just like Panama versus Mexico earlier this year. I don't see USA losing to Panama. And then finally, the final. Mexico versus Jamaica. Mexico contra Jamaica. Once again, this time it's in a final. Jimmy Lozano versus Heimir Hallgrimsson. This time I think Jamaica gets their give back. I think Jamaica has known how to go against Mexico. I think there are weaknesses of Jimmy Lozano's Mexico that can be now exploited by Jamaica, and I think Jamaica in the end will beat Mexico. I think Mexico have been very questionable over these past couple of games. After drawing Germany, I think in these 2 games they've been questionable, and of course the next game they play will be a mini tournament, a Liga MX game as well. In December they'll have a January camp, so you can't really get anything out of that, but in March I think Jamaica will get it done. Just have a hunch that Jamaica will win the Nations League, and honestly, I hope they do. If they're going to be at the final, I hope they do win it. I really do. So, I got Jamaica winning the Nations League. I got Canada and Honduras joining the Big Four, the Final Four in Copa America. I got Jamaica first, Mexico second, USA third, Panama fourth, Canada fifth, Honduras sixth, because technically that's what the play-in's for. So, there you go. That's what I got to say about the CONCACAF Nations League and the Repechaje. Not so happy about it, but what can you do? With that being said, if you like this video, like and share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. But it's a play. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I shall see you tomorrow for a live watch along and review of Ole Miss Rebels at Mississippi State Bulldogs in the Egg Bowl. The final game of the regular season. Mississippi State trying to be bowl eligible at 6-6. They'll probably get in through APR, but I want a better bowl, so let's go. All right? Universe, you owe me for that bullshit at the end of the Canada game. You owe me a Mississippi State win. So, you owe me. So, we better see it. But I'll see you tomorrow. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you get to end it with some fun, with a fun stream, and we'll have some fun with it. So I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Ryan, and I'm out. Peace.